All right, everybody, we're here with Frank Cotto, Frank the Bank. I got to tell you, Frank the Bank. I mean, what a great name! It's. I think about that name, and you really should have been a wrestler, like Frank the Bank Cotto, right? But one of the issues that Frank here has tackled for us is recently, Frank went up to Tallahassee with myself, and we went up to with the Florida Association of Mortgage Professionals, and in those travels, we met with a lot of legislators, we met with a lot of senators, House representatives, and we talked a lot about what's happening with affordable housing, some of the challenges in the marketplace. Frank is a delegate with the FAMP, and Frank, I just want to take a moment to ask you. So, what were some of the work here that the FAMP did, and what did you see as we talk about some of the House bills? Where are we heading, and what were some of the critical topics that were important to you?
Hey, Nate, thank you. The critical topics, we really had six topics, but a few of them I really nailed down with the senators. Probably the biggest one for the licensed originators listening right now would be the one about trigger leads.
Mhm.
Very near and dear to my heart, owning the company for 25 years. I've never seen anything like what our consumers are experiencing right now. Matter of fact, we just tried to pre-approve somebody yesterday and I had to, I'm sorry, Friday, and we had to tell the poor guy that we needed to wait almost a week to run his credit because we didn't want him to have to deal with these trigger leads where they're getting hundreds, if not thousands of phone calls throughout the entire process. So when we were at the Governor's Club, very fun story. I'm standing there talking to one of the senators. His name passes me right now. But I'm telling him what trigger leads are and explaining how it messes up the customer experience. It costs more money to the consumer, all the negatives. And another senator, actually a House of Representatives lady, walks by and she stops us, interrupts us, and says, "Are you guys talking about trigger leads?" And I'm like, "How do you know what a trigger lead is?" Well, her sister, the day before, had done an application for a mortgage and she showed me on her phone, her sister texted her and said, "Can you do something about this? I've received 94 phone calls in less than 12 hours." So
And
they're
that was a
now
House
aware.
representative, or was it a set? Was a
Yes,
member? It was a member of
it
the
was
legislature.
a member of the Florida House
So,
is the
so
one
they're
who
very
stopped.
aware of these issues and what's happening.
Very aware. So now now they understand what's going on. So then we took the time throughout the day as we went through all of our meetings with the senators and the House members at the Capitol to tell them about trigger leads if they knew about it or not. And they were extremely receptive. And what we're trying to do, we know we're not going to beat the big Gestapo credit bureaus who are responsible for this. We know we're not going to stop them from selling our data. So what we are attempting to do through legislation is change the rules of the Florida Statute 494, which governs the originators. And we're trying to make it where it is illegal for an originator to call on a trigger lead, a Florida originator to call on a trigger lead. By doing that, we're helping the consumers here in Florida and the originators here in Florida that are doing business if they are licensed here. It doesn't mean they have to live here. It means that they are licensed here. And we picked up all kinds of traction. So our lobbyist, Sean, is working
Sean
on,
Stafford with McGuire and Woods.
right? Sean Stafford, McGuireWoods, our lobbyist for FAMP, which we pay a lot of money to have to help us out. They're working on the framework, the what do you call it? The
And
words.
and and let's clarify for just a moment for our members out there. You know, a lot of your membership dues that you pay, where does that money go? It doesn't it's not a boondoggle, right? So for us, we take the capital that you put forward, and that money goes into basically investing in member benefits. One of the member benefits that you have is the association has an outstanding lobbyist that's out of Tallahassee. That's Sean Stafford with McGuire Woods. And over the years, Sean has done some fabulous things for us. And right now, Sean is helping to draft some language that we're going to put before the legislature with regard to trigger leads. And Frank, I think you were going to address that there were several House members that we spoke to that are looking to sponsor that bill.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because of all the topics we talked about, every single senator and House member wanted to be a part of this. They were all volunteering their time. And after the lady came up to us, the other one said, "Well, you have my support. Tell me what you need." So, guys, it's very important that you understand your dues are going to a very good place. We didn't always have a lobbyist.
We
We
did
used to
not.
go up there and walk randomly through the Capitol and trying to get appointments. But when you have a lobbyist, everywhere we walked, they knew Sean, they knew his company, and they took us very seriously. So this is where your money is going. It's not going to happy hours and restaurants. It's going to change things. Let's talk about something else. So another topic that was very important that the senators and the House representatives loved had to do with condo legislation. Did you know, FAMP members and originators, that the state of Florida is the only state where Fannie Mae requires on a limited condo review to go from 5% down to 25% down? Every other state, 49 other states, only require 10% down if you need to do a limited review condo. I didn't know this until I met with
It's
Florida
highly
Legislature.
restrictive, right? It's a ban that's been around for a while and hasn't been removed. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
very important rule.
Very important rule, and a lot of traction on that. When the word that we used with the senators was, what did we call it? Geo-targeting and discrimination. And that's very big right now. Nobody wants to feel discriminated against. So again, this is where your money is going. It's bringing these issues to the forefront. Now, it's not like we got a law change when we went up there. We have to keep going up there. We have to stay in front of them. So we need your support for FAMP to be able to help make these changes.
And let's clarify that part of the condo rule that you're referring to is where Sean Stafford again is working with some local representatives of the House and Senate to really bubble this issue up. I mean, it's Fannie Mae, and we know that with Fannie Mae and even Freddie Mac with the agencies and the bureaucracies, it's more of a federal issue. But if we take it here and show that Florida is being, we have to be careful with the language, but geo discriminated against, right? This does create an impact in terms of affordable housing. So Sean's trying to draft some language with regards to having some support, have somebody sponsor that bill. And then, of course, we're looking to get that pushed up on a federal level. So that's another topic. But there were a couple of others that are also really important in the area of affordable housing. Let's talk a little bit about some of the homestead stuff that's out there. We're seeing about some additional homestead exemptions and also
Yeah.
some of the ADU bills.
So the homestead exemption currently in the state of Florida is $50,000. Nathan, do you remember what was the date of that? Wasn't it like 1992
Oh,
or
it
something?
was much earlier on where the average price of homes was significantly lower than it has been now. So it's been a very long time and overdue in terms of how they determine the exemptions for that.
Right. And they're taught, so we brought that up to them, and they like the idea of going from 50,000 to 100,000, which may not even be enough. And then a couple of them had the idea of making it based on inflation as well. If
Correct.
inflation
Yes.
goes up
House
10%,
Representative Yarborough, I think, was the one that was behind that and said,
right.
hey, we really should make a rate of inflation so that we don't always have to come back and revisit it. They should adjust kind of each year, which is again, it's a great bill. I believe it's House Bill 359, 357, and hopefully that'll get a Senate sponsorship, and that should really move the needle up a little bit as well, too. And we're working on that.
Exactly. Another one is hometown heroes. Everybody in the mortgage industry, we all know about hometown heroes, how it's one of the best, you could say, down payment assistance style products. But that money, that $100 million doesn't go very far. I mean, how long did it take us to use that? Maybe
Oh,
a
I think
month.
halfway through August, I believe August 17th. Don't pin me on that date, but for some reason that date sticks out. But it was pretty quick. I mean, it went very, hardly even maybe 2 months, but
Yeah.
let's just call it 2 months.
Yeah. So we asked the senators, and every single one of them agreed that they would like to double that if they can. So that is something obviously has been taken up by the budget committee and whatnot. But if we can get it to 200 million, that's twice the families that we can help. And that had
That's
almost
right.
unanimous support. Let's see, what are some of the other issues we
And the
had?
association is very strongly behind that, of course. And Senator
Oh,
Hooper is a
yes.
big advocate of that. So we're grateful for that. He's the chairman of the Appropriations Committee. The other one that we had, which we thought was a real good one as well, too, is Senate Bill 184, I believe is what it is. And that's the one that has to do with rezoning some of the ADU units out there. So if you're in Pinellas County or other counties throughout the state that has been a little bit impacted by additional, it's not auxiliary, it's accessory units,
And
accessory
accelerate,
dwelling units.
accessory dwelling
So the
units.
addition of accessory dwelling units, and we feel that that's got a significant component for affordable housing as well, too.
Absolutely. And that was a very popular one as well. I think we're missing one, aren't we?
I'm sorry?
What's the last one that we spoke
The
about?
last one that I think we have to touch on is really has to do with the Safe Florida Act, and
Oh,
that
yes.
last one had a lot to do with dollar for. I'm not sure how well we're going to do with that. That's dollar for dollar. So basically, for like windows and roofs and hurricane impacted doors, the state of Florida does offer you a dollar for dollar. So if you put in a dollar, they'll match your dollar in terms of
Yeah.
having some of these upgrades made. But I believe that there's caps on there. 10,000 per individual, 175,000 for for condo dwelling. So I'm not sure how much that's going to have a significant impact, but it is there. So we do support it because anything to give back to our homeowners is going to be important, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. So guys, I want to speak to all of the originators who are watching this video right now. We need your support. I have been an originator here in Tampa for 26 years. And it was probably only in the last decade that I really became involved in FAMP. And until I went up to Tallahassee, it was hard to understand what FAMP really does for us. But when you meet with the legislators and you have your Sean Stafford and
Your
his team,
lobbyist. Yeah.
your lobbyists behind you, you see a real difference. And to hear these senators understand you, especially about trigger leads. If you are in the mortgage industry, you are affected by a trigger lead every single day. We need your help. We need you to join FAMP. If you don't have a lot of money, give what you can, but at
The
least
PAC,
join.
Political Action Committee. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
not frivolous money. It doesn't go to paying for rooms or anything like that or food. Literally political action funds. I mean, that money goes directly to the legislators and so on and so forth to help kind of push our initiatives forward. And we do need to raise PAC money. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Every institution, organization has PAC. The realtors have PAC. You know, the Florida Association of Realtors has it. Greater Tampa Realtors, the Pinellas County Realtors, Pasco Realtors. Everybody does. Even the Tampa Bay Builders Association. Everybody has a PAC.
I will tell you, I am tired of hearing about the realtor packs and the realtor organizations that are
Like $1
so
million.
strong. Right.
We're
So
nowhere near
strong.
that.
Why can we not do it? Well, we can. With your support, we
Right?
can do it. Join FAMP, join your local chapter, volunteer. Nathan and I take time out of our days to go and do it. We don't get paid for this
No, we do
to do
not.
it. We pay to do this. It costs us money every time
Costs
we
us
do
money to
things.
go, but we love you guys. We love the industry, and if we don't do it, who will? And that's one of the big things. You know, we appreciate Frank. We appreciate all the other delegates that have come on board, joined government affairs, worked in this initiative. It was 2 long, hard days, but we really made some great ground. And Frank, thank you for your work and all the delegates that have been communicating, working with Sean Stafford, our lobbyists. Again, stay tuned, folks. This trigger lead thing isn't going to go away. It didn't have any success on a federal level, but we're certainly trying on a state level. So we want your support, want your membership, donate to PAC, and we thank you so much. And hey, we'll see you soon.
Let's do it. Thank you, Nathan.